Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning routine. It is Monday morning, August the 7th, 2017. I can't even believe the first week of August is gone. I was just commenting yesterday that in 3 weeks, the pool shut down for the season. It feels like I just opened the thing. I mean, what's up with that? This summer is flying. I don't know what's going on around here in Pennsylvania. Maybe it's that it started late. Maybe we had so much rain. I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is. The summer is almost over. 3 weeks and back to school. The pool gets shut down. It's just zing and it's gone. It's the craziest thing ever. But we made it back from Atlanta this weekend. Had a great trip down there. High 80s, low 90s every day. No rain, no humidity. Beautiful days. We get back here. I think what's the temperature out? 59 degrees outside right now. And I love it. I love Pennsylvania. Absolutely love Pennsylvania. The heat is not my thing. I'm fine with it. It's enjoyable. But I like it when it's a lot cooler than that. So it's good weather for me. Although my wife and I went out last night. Our anniversary yesterday, so we went out for a little meal together, and on the way out I think it was like 70 something degrees, and she was chilly and needed a sweater, and I was like, this is amazing temperature right now. So a little difference of opinion there, but hey, here we are and we're back. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and football season is going to be starting here. We got a little preseason action going on. You know, I mean, this is the tide is changing from spring, summer to fall, winter. So embrace it, because you don't have much other choice but to have to embrace it. So there you go. But I got some stories for you here today, guys. I've got some interesting things. By the way, when I logged on to Facebook Live this morning to go live with everybody, it was very strange. They have changed a lot of the settings. It took me 3 times to actually get on today, because they got all kinds of, I'm looking at them now. That's what I'm looking at. There's all kinds of filters and I don't know, man. There's all kinds of stuff. So I'm wondering if they added on that thing where you can have somebody in with you, if they've now have it on for pages. Because remember when we tried it a long time ago, you could do it on a personal page where you could invite somebody in to co-host, but on a page, the morning routine page, it wouldn't allow you to do that. But I wonder if it's now a feature. So maybe one day we can test that out or something. I don't want to do it now because you never know who's sitting watching in their skivvies. It is kind of early in the morning. So, but some stories for you guys. Interesting story from theeconomist.com about sand. Like the stuff that bothers you and gets stuck in your shorts when you're at the beach and stuff, you know? Listen to this. This is amazing. India, as in the country, India's sand mafia is doing a roaring trade. The Times of India estimates that the illicit market for sand is worth around $2.3 billion a year. What? Sand. Yes, we're talking about sand. Gangs around the country frequently turn to violence as they vie to continue cashing in on a building boom. Now, you say, why would the mafia be involved in sand? And why is the title to this article called An Improbable Global Shortage? Sand. I mean, I've never heard of this. There's sand everywhere. So let's read on, guys, okay? Much of the modern global economy depends on sand. Most of it pours into the construction industry, where it is used to make concrete and asphalt. A smaller quantity of fine-grade sand is used to produce glass and electronics, and particularly in America, to extract oil from shale and the fracking industry. No wonder then that sand and gravel are the most extracted materials in the world. A 2014 report by the United Nations Environmental Program estimates they account for up to 85% by weight of everything mined globally each year. 13.7 billion tons of sand mined worldwide for construction last year. 70% of that was used in Asia. Half was used in China alone. And then there's a whole chart about the countries that are using sand and things like that. This article is like mind-stretching, though. Like a shortage of sand. Sand is like, I don't know, man. I just can't get over it. Sand is everywhere, man. Like, how could the mafia be in sand? I don't know. By virtue of dumping vast quantities of sand into the sea, Singapore is now over 20% larger than it was when it became independent in 1965. A country has grown by 20% because the amount of sand that they've collected and bought and dumped into the ocean to expand their land. China has outraged global opinion by building artificial islands on disputed rocks in South China Sea with sand. Sand may appear plentiful, but it is in fact becoming scarce. Not all types are useful. Desert sand is too fine for most commercial purposes. Sand is being extracted at a far greater rate than that at which it is naturally replenished. Isn't that fascinating? There's more details in the article. Of course, the link to the article will be in the show links, or you can go to freedomconvo.com to the morning show, and it'll be there, and you can check this out in more detail. But I was like, wow. That is incredible that there's an issue with sand. So, next story. Interesting story. So, the first question I have for you. Well, let's say it's a statement first. I've always heard growing up, right, that there's things that you just don't always talk about in public, right, with just open communication. Let's say at Thanksgiving dinner, right? You don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, and you don't talk about money, right? These are the three things that we've heard this before. You don't talk about those things. I don't necessarily buy into them because I talk about them all. But anyways, how would you like it if everyone knew exactly how much money you made? And in return, you knew how much money everybody else made. What do you think about that idea? Well, guess what? Norway. The country where no salaries are secret. Yes, that's right. In Norway, there are no such secrets. Anyone can find out how much anyone else is paid, and it rarely causes problems. It's interesting, this whole article about Norway and their thing, they're talking about how people were on there just looking people up. It's like became an entertainment thing, and then and it got kind of crazy because then it was all over Facebook and stuff like that. But in fact, most workplaces, people have a fairly good idea of how much colleagues are earning without having to look it up. But if they want to look it up, they can. Pay gaps are relatively narrow. This is one of the benefits of it, is that the pay gaps stay closer together. The gender pay gap is also narrow by international standards. The World Economic Forum ranks Norway third out of 144 countries in terms of wage equality for similar work. It's because everybody can look it up, right? Everybody knows what everybody's making, so there's no hiding it. People now they've changed it recently. How it was is people could log in using their national ID number in order to access the data in the tax authority's website. And for the last 3 years, they have changed it where now you cannot do it anonymously. It used to be you can go on there and anonymously look and everything. Now when you go in there to look, you can still look whenever you want, but it keeps track and shows the person. If somebody looked at my income, it would show me that you looked at my income, let's say. They saw a significant drop to about 1/10 of the volume that was before, because now the peeping Toms are no longer anonymous and people know that they are looking. Let's see. In a recent survey, 92% of people said they did not look up friends, family, or acquaintances. I don't believe it. And let's see here. Let's see what else is on here. The only negative side effect that they found in this article that I read is that in some cases, children from low-income families who have been bullied in school because classmates had looked up their parents' financial situation and then brought it out in school and had bullied them if they were low income. So, but and it helps them with tax evasion. They have a significantly high tax rate there, and by everybody knowing what's going on, it's harder to evade your taxes because everybody's watching you and knows what you make. So interesting. I don't know, just different way of doing things. Seems to work for them. Norway is always ranked, remember, as one of the happiest countries in the world. I'm not, whatever, just is what it is. So, but wow, that coffee is abnormally strong this morning. And it takes me a second to adjust every time I take a sip. All right. One more story before we move on, guys. The U.S. states where people are more likely to swear than not Interesting article. This is from the Quartz, okay? Listen to how they got this information, all right? This is very cool. An analysis of millions of chats with customer service professionals provides some insight into the places where people's frustrations are laced with the most invective. LivePerson provides live chat and messaging technology for companies to run their customer service operations, and says it provides services to 18,000 businesses, including Adobe, HSBC, Citibank, and Home Depot. It used sentiment analysis to parse transcripts of 35 million chats, so out of 35 million conversations that took place in May 2017, counting up the words the company categorized as either curse or polite. So, they took 35 million conversations in 1 month. They analyzed the text and looked for swearing, okay? And using that, they were able to find which states are the states where people would swear the most. Now, let's take a guess. Everybody pick which state they think that on customer service phone calls, people swore the most. All right, everybody got their guess? Number 1 is Virginia. Never would have picked Virginia ever in my life. Like, I would have picked like a major city somewhere or something, you know? Virginia is number 1. 6.8 chats out of 100, people were swearing. New Mexico was second. Then Alaska. Then Iowa. Iowa, what? Then Utah, state of Washington, North Dakota, Idaho. Idaho at 2.13. That's how high Virginia and New Mexico are. They're at 6s. Alaska's at 5. Iowa's at 4.25. Utah is at 3.83. Washington, North Dakota, Idaho, District of Columbia, and Wisconsin are all in the 2s. And then everybody else after that is in the 1s. Let's see where Pennsylvania is, since that Pennsylvania, Hawaii is at 0.69, less than 1. Pennsylvania doesn't even make this list. I wonder why that is. That's interesting. So Virginia, don't beep your horn at anybody, because you're gonna get, you're gonna get something back that you maybe not want to get. So, but anyways, so there's your stories for today. Let's go on over, guys, and let's see what's trending. Top 10 most searched things yesterday on Google Trends were: number 1, Chris Pratt. Don't know who Chris Pratt is. Chris Pratt and Anna Faris announced they're separating. Is that big news or something? I don't know why it's number 1 ranking. But, all right. Number 2, National Sister Day. Number 3, Jay Cutler. That's the quarterback who has gone to the Dolphins now. Number 4, Aaron Carter. Number 5, Ricky and Morty Season 3, Episode 3. Number 6, Sharknado 5. Are you kidding me? Are they really making a Sharknado 5? Wow. 7, Darren Dalton. Number 8, Ray Donovan. Number 9, Chaos is a Ladder. And number 10, Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 4. Those are the top 10 most searched things yesterday on Google Search. Let's see some trending news today just to get an idea what's going on in the world today. Top of the list, Chris Pratt and Anna Faris separate. That is a number 1 in the news as well. Wow, from CNN.com. Crazy. Number 2, Jay Cutler. That was also trending. It's also in the news. $10 million to play for 1 year for the Dolphins. Next is Sergey Lavrov. Tiller says U.S.-Russia can settle problems, ease tension. Next we have is Chicago. Chicago to sue Trump administration over sanctuary city funding threat. After that, North Korea. North Korea rejects UN sanctions, promises righteous action. China is next on the list. Stop missile tests. China tells North Korea. North Korea is like, man, causing trouble, right? Holy cow. After that, the Ohio State Fair. Deadly accident at Ohio State Fair caused by corrosion, says ride maker. After that, Mike Pence. Pence denies eyeing presidential bid amid distance with Trump over Russia. And last but not least, Mark Dayton. Minnesota governor calls mosque bombing act of terrorism. And that is our trending news this morning, guys. Let's jump on over and let's get ourselves a passage of wisdom this morning to start our day off on the right foot. Today is an easy one. One verse to think about. Here we go. Psalm 139, verse 14. Psalm 139, verse 14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Very simple. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. This is a great passage. This is a passage, I think, that when somebody's having a tough time, maybe feeling depressed or down on themselves, or struggling with confidence issues or anything like that, I wish this is a verse that we could just soak in those moments. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Knowing that your works, that God's works in creating you are wonderful. And for all of us to know, part of my Meant Life project, right, is to know that you've been wonderfully made. And to just know that no matter what situation you've grown up in, no matter what your parents might have told you, because some people have been in rough spots, right? No matter what a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or work, no matter what anybody has ever told you, no matter anything, to know for sure and not question it, that you have been wonderfully made and nothing will ever change that. God has created each and every one of us with great intent, with a specific purpose, and he makes no mistakes, even sometimes when it may look like it is, in our own judgment of what we can see in the mirror or see when we're looking at somebody near us, when we're making a judgment on somebody else, right? Great passage. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Awesome, guys. Let's pray. Let's get this day started. Father, good morning. Father, thank you for today, this Monday. Thank you for the rain that's falling outside my window right now that is feeding the grass and the trees and the bushes and making everything have enough water to grow. Father, I thank you for the safe passage you gave my family and I as we traveled, and for people who are traveling right now on vacation for the safe passage that you're giving them as well. Father, I thank you for this passage this morning that you gave us, this verse, this piece of wisdom, the reminder for us to know that we have been wonderfully made. You know that you have made us, but for us to know that in the deepest of our hearts and our minds, that you have made us wonderful and with great intent. Father, I thank you. I thank you for this passage. Father, I pray that this morning this passage finds the ears of the people who need to hear this the most and know this for sure, that if they question it, that they shouldn't question it. Doesn't matter what has gone on in their life, Father. You love them and you wrap your arms around them and call them your own as you're their Heavenly Father and have made them wonderful. Father, be with us today. Give us the strength to look out and see other people as wonderfully made as well. Not only do we sometimes struggle looking at ourselves, but sometimes we struggle looking at the people around us who are driving us crazy, who are doing things we don't understand. Help us today that everyone we see them as a wonderful creation that you have made with intent. And help us love them as such. We thank you and we love you. Amen. All right, guys, that is a wrap. I hope you guys have a great day today on this Monday, August 7th. It's a day that you won't get to do again, so make it count. And until tomorrow morning when we get back here again, don't forget to be exactly who you were meant to be. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.